Hi, this is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com's DevOps TV here in DUZ San Francisco 2016. And we're here with another batch of presenters from DevOps Enterprise Summit this year. We have Eddie Garcia from
Blueware.
Who is actually, we need to hurry up because he has to get down and present. And then we have two gentlemen from Electric Cloud who have already presented, Laurent Rochette.
Correct.
Eddie Maxey.
Greg Maxey.
Greg Maxey. Eddie Garcia, Greg Maxey. Okay, and you guys presented earlier around DSL at scale.
Yes, exactly.
And Eddie, you are presenting about starting a DevOps movement from the grassroots.
Mm-hmm.
So bottom up rather than top down.
Bottom up, exactly.
Okay, so guys, before we dive into some specifics, I wanted to give you all three of you a chance to talk a little bit about your presentation. So, Eddie, being as you didn't present yet, let's let the DSL folks talk about what their presentation was, and we'll go first with that.
So this was a follow-up from last year. So last year we introduced the DSL functionality in Electric Flow, and we saw that it had some promise for managing very, very large deployments. So specifically onboarding, situations where you got thousands of applications. And then this past year, Laurent and I had the opportunity to test that out. So we had a customer engagement, a large financial services firm that had many thousands of applications, and they needed a mechanism for bringing those all on and not having to do it by hand. And so DSL, or domain-specific language, allowed us to do kind of a data-driven approach. So they could have basically a web portal where users would enter in information about their applications, spit out a data structure that we would consume, and then use our DSL to generate the models that then could be used by the end customer.
Yeah, so the advantage of DSL is, it's a known thing in the industry. People are familiar with infrastructure as code, Chef and Puppet, where you describe your infrastructure. DSL allows us to do the same with our process. So you define your whole process into a DSL, which is based on the Gregy language. And the advantage is you can put now all your automation code, which is important because you want to be sure if you do some modification, you don't break, because else customer will not be able to deploy or stuff like that. So you can put that into your source control management tool and deploy it and test it like you would do for your own application. So we can use basically the same same philosophy of small changes, testing, deploy on different environment, with DSL, which is a lot easier. So
great. Eddie, what about your presentation?
So my presentation is about starting a grassroots movement for DevOps. It goes for two cases. One case was I used to work at Microsoft and did a transformation for DevOps from Mac Office. And Mac Office was basically isolated at Microsoft. If you can imagine, it's a Macintosh product in a Microsoft Windows environment company. So there were some definite challenges there to overcome. And then I left Microsoft and joined Blueware, and we do consulting for major oil and gas companies. And we do scientific software there. And I came on as an individual contributor for a product, leveraged Electric Flow very heavily, and got the movement happening there. And now I manage 5 products, and we're expanding the DevOps movement to those 5 products, and we're looking to expand that further and using this as a model of how to do things.
Fantastic. So this is Blue Flow is the name of the company? Blueware Electric Flow. This is Blueware's own internal DevOps story, not what you're doing necessarily with customers. It's using DevOps to create better product services that Blueware
I'm discussing the case of what we did at our customer. I just can't mention the customer site for whatever reasons, right? But it's all about what we did there with Flow as the engine for the automation. And how we got you can imagine in a big oil and gas company, things don't move very quickly, and technology is hard to get new technology adopted, and so there's a lot of inertia that you have to overcome. And so it's all about strategies, how to get people motivated to break out of that shell and move forward with new technologies and new processes. Yeah.
Got it. So guys, you guys have presented last year at DevOps Enterprise Summit. Eddie, have you presented before?
I was a panelist last year.
Oh, so you have, okay.
Yes.
So you obviously came back, so it must have not been too bad. What's your impression of being a presenter at DevOps Enterprise Summit?
Well, I'm amazed at kind of the size of it. You probably know the history is originally it's kind of our user group for
Right.
electric cloud products, and now we're looking at, what was it, 1,300 or so people.
Yeah.
Wow, can this be? But as you also pointed out, it's you're with kind of kindred spirit. People who are concerned about the same type of problems. So it's kind of fun to be sit around the table and hear people talk about things that you struggle with every day.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest things is this, I call it birds of a feather kind of thing, where you hear people with common challenges, common solutions, common stories to your own, and I think that's why people identify with it.
Yeah, for me, what's really interesting is to hear about other people's story, especially I do professional services, so I go at customer, try to help them with their transformation in terms of mostly continuous delivery, but DevOps, agile, and the answer is always, oh no, we cannot do that. We're special or we're too big, and then you hear about company like Capital One or Target, and I'm thinking, are you really bigger than those guys? Are you really that different? If they can do it, why cannot you? And so the whole culture. Barrier, which is usually a big problem. I see a lot of customers having this issue. So it's very interesting. And I encourage my customer to come and, come and see our demo and stuff like that. Of course, we're a vendor, but also to talk to, either other customer or other company in the industry, because there is a lot of lesson to be learned from that. So
Absolutely. Eddie, how about you?
So I agree with Laurent that the customer stories and the scenarios they go through, and what's really interesting about this summit is that customers come back, or the speakers come back year after year, and you get to see the next phase of their movement, what they've got accomplished, what new challenges they're facing, how they solve the ones that they talked about last time. And I think that kind of builds a continuous story that you get to grow with, and so people get to share experiences over time. And also, this time around, I brought somebody with me, one of the guys that helped me start the movement at the current assignment I'm at, and so it's growing out. I'm pretty sure that more will come next year. It's really something that he's found very valuable. I think is very valuable as well.
Fantastic. All right, well, gentlemen, I think we're almost about out of time here, but just real quickly, if people want to find out more about
Blueware.
Blueware. 5 times I've got it wrong. I apologize.
Okay.
If they want to find out more about Blueware,
Yeah, it's blueware.com, and actually look up. So I'm doing a presentation. If you look up the presentations at the, I think we're posting it on.
it'll be on YouTube. On the DevOps Enterprise Summit.
So look it up there. There'll be more about Blueware and how we use electric flow to solve the problems that we have, and all of my contact information will be there as well.
And guys, where can we find out more about DSL and kind of some of the things you're doing with that?
So just Google electric flow DSL. And
So
we've got a lot of
makes
stuff on
it easy.
GitHub.
Yes.
So we
On
post. Yep.
Yeah, so we have a repository, Electric Cloud, on GitHub. So we put a lot of samples and some of the work we've done. We have a couple of projects there, and of course they can go to our website www.electric-cloud.com.
And we have a freemium version of our product, so people can download it and start using the full functionality of
Very
the product,
cool.
including the DSL.
Great. Greg, Laurent, Eddie, thank you for joining us. Thank you for
all.
presenting at DevOps Enterprise Summit. And maybe we'll see you next year as well.
I
Then.
hope so.
Been fun.
Okay. This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com's DevOps TV. It does 2016.